As you know, Rwanda is proud to co-host the Sustainable Energy for All Forum in Kigali, and is the first time such event takes place in Africa. And we have to be proud of that, and we thank the Mirora to have brought us the forum. So we look forward to welcoming close to 1,500 participants physically from around the world, and invite everyone to join virtually and contribute to the conversation and achieving sustainable energy for all. For Rwanda, we want even to add sustainable and affordable for all. Rwanda is putting access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy at the center of our energy policies. And Rwanda is proud of the progress we are making in connecting more people to electricity, improving our transport sector through e-mobility, and harnessing the power to energy to improve our lives and to improve our environment. Rwanda is open for green investment, and we welcome partners to join us in achieving sustainable energy for all. So it is a pleasure for me today to welcome you, dear friends from media, to join us to welcome 1,500 participants that we will see tomorrow. I thank you.
We know this is really like a landmark global gathering, bringing together people from different corners of the global world to, of course, to discuss different challenge which is affecting the energy for all. So this is a very good opportunity, especially for the continent of Africa, to discuss where we are now and then what's the action we should take to move forward of course, so that I think everybody should have access to electricity, to energy, as of course we know energy is one of a factor which is affecting all SDGs. So I think from tomorrow we are going to have a different session to discuss what is going on, what's the challenge we are facing. And then the good things for this forum is to discuss the action we should take to overcome all these challenges. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be speaking to you today. I have to have a special thank you to my sister, the Honourable Minister of Environment, the Honourable Minister of Infrastructure, and the Honourable Minister of State for Infrastructure for having us and being such amazing co-hosts of this event. This is a very special moment for sustainable energy for all, and also for me. Like the Honourable Minister mentioned, it's the first time we're having the SEforALL Global Forum on the African continent, my continent. And, you know, more importantly, we're co-hosting with such an amazing government, the government of Rwanda, for this historic event. When I took over as CEO and the special representative of the UN Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All in 2020, one of my first trips was to Rwanda, where I met with government officials. I came from the trip really encouraged about the conversations and the commitment that Rwanda actually had to SDG 7. So it was a no-brainer that we had to have the global conference here. Over the last 2 years, we've worked alongside many countries on the continent to lift the conversation of what is the true, just, and equitable energy transition. In Rwanda, SEforALL, through our Access Accelerator program, has been working to unlock finance to close the electricity gap, provide more productive uses to energy to transform rural livelihoods, and also accelerate clean cooking, which is very important to the government. We're also really pleased how Rwanda has shown true leadership in the clean cooking sector by announcing its own Clean Cooking Energy Compact last year at the UN High-Level Dialogue on Energy. And these energy compacts are really important because they raise the ambition of what is really needed to get to Sustainable Development Goal 7, which we're all trying to achieve by 2030. But we're here for the SEforALL Forum, and the theme is purposely put, driving bold ambition for people-centered energy transition. We all know that every country's energy transition will be different, but we have to make sure it's bold and it's urgent and recognizes the need to end energy poverty as well as moving people to what we think is climate justice for billions of people. And we have to do this without leaving people behind. I think the statistics is clear. If we do not end energy poverty by 2030, we cannot achieve net zero by 2050. And this is something people forget. So while half of the world might be on track, the other half of the world has to be taken as seriously. Once again, I'd like to thank the government of Rwanda for their partnership, and not just for this forum, but the partnership of really proving we cannot leave anyone behind. I have to end by thanking our sponsors and really kind of special thank you to our long-standing partners, including All On, Bloomberg Philanthropy, who I believe are in the room here, Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, Rockefeller Foundation, OPEC Fund, for really coming together, embracing us and understanding that SDG 7 is a very, very important topic. So thank you very much.
Tujyanyeyo ubushake bwa politiki n'ubufatanye n'abafatanyabikorwa mu gushaka ubundi buryo twashyiraho ingufu zibyara amashanyarazi cyangwa se ubundi buryo butubyarira ingufu zifasha abaturage mu gucana badakoresheje ibiti. Ahangaha ngira Minisitiri w'ibikorwa remezo araza kubivuga neza, aho twiteze mu mwaka umwe uri imbere kuba dufite uruganda ruzaba ruduha gaze abaturage bacana ivuye muri gaze metane. Ibyo nabyo ni bimwe mu bintu tuvuga ngo dukoresha iby'iwacu. Ndumva ari icyo kibazo Kwizera Bosco yari yambajije. Ikibazo kindi nabajijwe na Jean Dodier igihe ndumva mpise ngisubiriza muri icyo ngicyo cya Jean Bosco Kwizera, ibintu bidufasha, iyi nama izadufasha iki, izi ngufu turi kuvuga ziri sustainable ko zishobora kuba zangiza ibidukikije. Aha nabisobanuye muri iki kibazo nabajijwe na Kwizera. Twese turaharanira ko abanyarwanda n'abatuye u Rwanda babona ibibafasha kubona ingufu, ari izibafasha guteka, ari izibafasha mu nganda, ariko zitangiza ibidukikije. Ku kibazo cya Michel, Rwanda's green investment, hari izo investment, for example, zo kuza to assemble, for example, electric car in Rwanda or motorbike in Rwanda. That is one of the green investment which will respond also to the green transport. We have opportunities in green building, for example. For us to have green villages, we have to have, in those villages, we have to have a green building, green transport, clean cooking, and making sure that we meet the NDC in reducing 38% of our greenhouse gases emission. To be able to achieve that target, we have to embrace green villages. And we have other opportunities like waste management, waste to energy. If we convert our waste into energy, if we convert our waste into fertilizers, this is also another opportunity for green investment. And of course, we have forests. We are calling our different partners, investors, to come and have co-management with the government of our government forests to make sure we produce local-made product of quality to be able to even export our product. The co-management of our public forests is also another opportunity for investment. I thank you very much.
I should start with a question raised by William, asking what is the current situation concerning the energy, of course, the access to electricity in the country. Of course, currently, Rwanda has made a significant improvement when you are comparing or just going back in 2012. The access was 15%, but now the access is 69.8%. So you can imagine this significant effort, of course, done by the government of Rwanda for this access. Of course, as you said, the on-grid today is 48.7%, and then off-grid is 21.1%. So the overall picture of the country, currently, of course, we have a installed capacity approximately to 281 megawatt. And then we are hoping actually to reach universal access in 2 years, of course, 100% in 2024. So project in pipeline, of course, to help us reach this energy ambition target by 2024. We have some project in the pipeline. We have like Hakan Pit Power Plant. So installed capacity is 70 megawatt, but of course, first trend commission is 35 megawatt. So we have also Lusumo hydropower plant that will generate 80 megawatt. Of course, it will be shared to Rwanda, Tanzania, and Burundi. So currently, of course, is that the status is 87%, and then we hope in September the plant will be completed. So we have also Shema Power Plant. So the installed capacity is 56 megawatt, but construction is estimated at 70% currently. But we expect, of course, next year this plant also will be on. So we have also some small power plant. So there is also Nyabarongo 3. Nyabarongo 3, it's planned groundbreaking ceremony in this middle of May. And then it's a project that has to be completed in 2 years. So it will generate 43.5 megawatt. So we have also Rusizi 3 hydropower plant. Of course, it is a negotiation between different stakeholders in this project. It's also a very big project which contributes significantly to the generation of power in the country. So this is the current situation of the country now. So the access now is 69.8%, and then we hope in 2 years coming, 2024, we'll reach universal access 100%. So there is also a question raised by Jeanne about ingufu zitangiza ibidukikije. Ngira ngo ibyo ngibyo Minister wa Environment byinshi yabivuzeho, imishinga myinshi hari, yavuze hari imishinga dufite ikoresha gaz metani, hari imishinga dufite hydro igiye kubakwa, hari za Rusi, hari nko mushinga twarimo tuvuga wa Rusumo, umushinga munini cyane duhuriweho n'ibihugu bitatu, Rwanda, Tanzania ndetse n'u Burundi. Hari uriya mushinga wa Rusizi ya gatatu tuzaba duhuriyeho n'u Rwanda ndetse na Kongo ndetse n'u Burundi. Ukaba ari umushinga Rusizi ya gatatu, ukaba ari umushinga uzatanga megawati zigeze mu 147 nazo zizagabanywa hagati y'ibihugu bitatu. Naho ukaba ari umushinga mu by'ukuri uzafasha ibihugu muri kano karere gukomeza kongera imbaraga se cyangwa amashanyarazi muri bino bihugu byacu uko ari bitatu. So akaba n'izindi ngufu zikomoka ku mashanyarazi nazo igihugu gikomeza gushyiramo imbaraga cyane, aho mu gihugu ngo twarimo tubivuga off grid igeze kuri 21 n'igice kimwe kwijana, kandi igihugu guverinoma ikabikomeza gushyiramo imbaraga kugira ngo icyo gice cy'amashanyarazi nacyo gikomeze kugera ku baturage mu gihe u Rwanda rukomeje n'ubundi gushyiramo imbaraga mu mashanyarazi yaba akomoka ku zuba, yaba akomoka ku mazi, ndetse yaba akomoka nk'uko Minisitiri wa Environment yabivuze, amashanyarazi akomoka kuri gazi dufite mu Kivu, aho iyo Shema Power Plant izaba itanga 56 megawatt cyangwa megawatt 56 nayo igeze kure yubakwa. Ngira ngo ibindi bibazo byabajijwe na GAD avuga ati se ibikorwa remezo mu gufasha abaturage kwegereza abaturage ingufu. Ngira ngo nibyo ngibyo nari ndimo sobanura muri rusange. Urebye umuvuduko u Rwanda rufite ukareba mu mwaka wa 2012 aho u Rwanda rwari rufite gusa 15 mu gukwirakwiza amashanyarazi mu baturage cyangwa mu gihugu muri rusange, ariko ubu ngubu tukaba tugeze kuri 69.8 mu mwaka wa 2022. Ni icyerekana ibikorwa remezo cyangwa se imbaraga guverinoma irimo ishyira mu bikorwa remezo bituma amashanyarazi akomeza gukwirakwira hirya no hino mu baturage. Ubwo iyo tuvuga gukwirakwiza amashanyarazi hirya no hino tuba tuvuga hari amaofisi, hari ibitaro, hari za centre de santé, hari imirenge, hari utugari ndetse n'udusantere tw'ubucuruzi. So ibyo bigatuma mu by'ukuri n'iterambere ry'igihugu rikomeza kwihuta. So muri iyi myaka 2 rero guverinoma n'ubundi irakomeza gushyiramo imbaraga zishoboka zose kugira ngo twese umuhigo w'uko mu mwaka wa 2024 tuzaba tugeze ku kigero cy'uko amashanyarazi amaze kugera kuri buri wese mu mwaka wa 2024. Ngira ngo ikindi kibazo, the other question was raised by Michelle concerning about the peat energy, so the current situation. So as you know, for peat to have Shema, we have Hakan peat power plant. Actually, the installed capacity is 70 megawatt, but currently is commissioning 35 megawatt. So we hope in this coming, of course, soon, the plant is fully, of course, commissioning the total capacity of 70 megawatt. So there are some challenge, of course, caused by the climate change, which is affecting the status of the peat. But this is caused by the climate change, where actually the waterland is affected by the flooding. So, but we hope soon the problem will be solved. And then, of course, we have like Gishoma. Gishoma also soon will be on, as I said, Gishoma and Hakan. They are also using the peat. So these are actually 2 power plants in the country we have, which is using the peat.
Okay, thank you. I think the first question was how are we doing towards 8 years to go? To be honest, we're not on track. We still have about 759 million people that have no access to electricity at all, and about 2.6 billion people globally that don't have access to clean cooking. We expect this figure may increase this year because of COVID, and about 150 million people have gone back into extreme poverty. So it's quite a dire situation. But even before COVID, we were not on track, and that's mainly because of the lack of financing that actually goes into the sector as we develop at SDG 7. That's one of the key points of this forum: is how do we get the right type of financing, both commercial, development financing, philanthropy, into the sector, and we need it at scale. If we had deployed all the, just a 17th of the money that was put into COVID relief of the G7, we would have reached a point of everybody being electrified. So that just gives you an idea of the money is out there, and it has to be featured and has to be to not leave people behind. In terms of addressing the goals, what do we have to do? I think there are 4 or 5 elements that has to happen. The first one is the use of data. Data is very, very powerful. We focused in SEforALL on integrated energy plans. These are plans that show the people who need electrification and the people who need clean cooking. So first you need to identify who those people are, and then what is the most sustainable way of providing them power supply. Is it on-grid? Is it off-grid? Is it solar home systems or solar mini-grid? It's really, really important to have that data through the whole life cycle. So you have to see how people work. You can't just say, I'm going to give someone a solar home system when they need a mini-grid connection, or I'm going to give them a mini-grid connection when they need something larger. But something we are clear about is those solutions do have to be clean. The other point is that we can't look at energy access as in isolation anymore. Especially in the African and Asian context, energy access is part of the African and Asian energy transition. So when you tell countries to transition, you can't tell people to transition out of things they don't have enough of. So we're at a very unique position to make sure that these people who don't have access to electricity are actually powered in a clean, sustainable way. So we're not making the mistakes of the developing world and coming back in 30 years and trying to transition. And that is a very important point. So data is key for all of that. And energy transition plans that document how countries are going to get to net zero are also very important. The other important point is policy work in terms of technical assistance, in terms of policies and feasibilities. That is also a very, very important element of which philanthropic money does play a key role. And then finally, for me, it's in innovative instruments. I don't believe that we've developed all the instruments that we can have for financing. One of the instruments I'm a very big believer on, and we do in Sustainable Energy for All, is results-based financing. So actually giving subsidy, but giving subsidy post-connection. That is very, very important to drive private sector. The government is good, but this should be a private sector-driven clean energy space, especially on the continent. So those are the key things that we are laser focused on. And then finally, just advocacy for finance into these countries. It's really important. And then in terms of investments and what we're going to hear today, I'm not sure if I can reveal that, but we are going to hear a big investment from Bloomberg that we're very, very excited about. That is going to happen tomorrow. OPEC Fund is going to talk about their clean cooking program, and a few other people are going to come together. But what we are truly excited about is how philanthropy is really stepping up to the game and doing some of the things that, frankly, we would have expected from the DFI community. But right now, we're willing to take it from anybody who can give it, and anybody who's focused and committed to these countries and really committed to the clean energy transition. Thank you.